Welcome to Angel Air. My name is Anita Mayberry. Thank you so much for tuning in to this exact same moment, time, and place. We are live with the lovely Simona Maneti to do, hello sweetheart, to do today's lovely divine demonstration. Simona Maneti is a beautiful guide, teacher, healer. She wears many hats in this lifetime. A lot of the work that she does do deals with the beautiful galactic energies, and today I believe that we're in store for a beautiful healing that deals a bit with that energy and information coming in. So Simona, if you'd care to share with us just a few words about what I'm going to be experiencing today and I'm super excited about, that would be fantabulous.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to be here and to be doing this with, this magnificent, beautiful soul that Anita is, and she's just always absolutely fantastic. And it's my own pleasure to actually be able to have her on the bed and just, allow for all the people that are willing to come in, and what by people mean galactic beings, divine beings, angels, archangels, anyone that is available and willing, or also that needs to be here for the purpose of her own clearing. So really, not much more I need to prepare than just the bed and the grid, and whatever crystal I picked for the grid, or for the grid itself. The shape of it is in strictly in order for the person that I usually have on top of the bed, and that plays a part too. These crystals are used to playing with me and the energy and holding the energy for me. I put intentions in it, whatever, and they just speak to me to whatever they need to do. And today this was just for you. This is what you needed. And once I have you on the bed, we'll just call in the space. We're already in the energy, since there is the grid in place at all times. And once, we start bringing in beings, they just pretty much take charge, and I just let them do whatever they do best. And that is healing.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much for explaining to our viewers what's about to happen and what to expect. I know I'm super excited. I can't say it or stress it enough to have the beautiful Simona Maneti do her magical, amazing work with all the beautiful beings that I'm sure will come in. So the next clip you'll see, I'll be on the bed and we'll go ahead and give it a go. How's that sound?
It sounds wonderful. Can't wait.
Wonderful. Stay tuned.
So hi everyone. So now I'm going to go over the process of how I start with the healing. Usually I plug in, as I say, for myself, as an explanation of connecting to higher realms and to whoever is going to be coming and visiting for the healing for today. And Anita's already in the bed and ready to go. There's a lot of beings already lined up to do this. I start by, I'll do my chanting early in the morning because I like to get my body ready. I never know when a healing may be needed at some point or another. And I also use these metal plates and other things as I'm being guided and whatever they're telling me. And I'll just need to stand in front of a person, and I can see that Anita needs, these are little feet, but the representation is for opening of the feet chakras. And I can see with telepathically, I get message, and I can see that down by her feet, she needs a little bit of work right now. And then this is another emblem. It's like putting a grid on a person, and it activates and opens the energy grid. And this is going to go for her both solar plexus and the sacral. I can never remember that one. And then I don't always use this one, but she wants to come in. This is Lakshmi or Lakshmi, however people want to pronounce it for me. And she's going to be going at the head because Anita is getting some gifts today, some wonderful opening of some abilities. She already has tons of it. I'm going to cover her up because some people sometimes get cold. And the other thing that I've been told about her today is to use cards. And the use of cards is sometimes this deck. I'll show you this deck. It's called Angel Heart Sigil. And they're not really, don't always use them for reading, but they have, again, codings and encodings in it and activation charts and whatever I usually pull for the person. And I'll just be mixing them just a little bit just to ask guidance from the highest divine power and energy to come in and just show me. And I'm already seeing that I need to pull 5 cards for her that I'll be placing underneath her bodies, and this will activate certain areas of her bodies that, not that you necessarily need to do this, it's just an extra added bonus for a person, and it doesn't happen all the time. But for her, this is probably what we're going to be using, and I'll show you whichever ones it is that we're picking for her. So we got loyalty, and I'm just going to ask them to show me where loyalty, when I need to put it in. And they're showing over her left shoulder, so there may be some things that they're attached over her left shoulders and that part of the body that they're telling me that has to do with loyalty that I'll need to work on. The next one is pleasure. This is just having fun and activity, and they're showing this is what's bothering by her feet and ankles, so I'm going to be putting this down by her ankle. And I don't need to remember this once I place them because these issues may come up or may not. The next one is resolution, and I'm saying this is actually part of the heart between her shoulders, so I'm going to be placing this underneath her shoulders by her heart. And what I'm hearing is just for her to fortitude to go forward without hesitation. So to be resolute, to be certain, and without any doubts and without any hesitation. And as you know, I've seen often for Anita and many others and herself too, she has a beautiful, beautiful future ahead of her. Orientation, ooh, beautiful. Okay. All right, so this is, I'm seeing underneath her head is going to go because she's actually off kilter a little bit. And what I mean by that is that they're showing that her her axles, we have like lines, meridian lines that go down this way and they go across her body, and you know, we have many different lines that they're keeping they're part of our energy body, and sometimes those can be tilted. We can also be turned completely. So if we're trying to actually going about our day-to-day life and we're not balanced in that sense, we actually can, you know, people may feel like things like you may hurt yourself, you may have the tendency of falling down, you may run into things, you may drop things, you may be forgetful and things like that, depending however you turn. And I'll just go into more. And the next one is actually innocence, which is beautiful, and this is going to go on her left hand, I'm sorry, right hand. I'm going to put her underneath her hand. Okay, and as they're showing, as I put that in, I can see that there is a cord going down from the right side of the body down her leg, so we're going to be working on that. And once I've done that, my next step is to actually bring in the coding, the molecular energy coding, as I've been working for the past few months of her soul body and her energy bodies and all the bodies. And this includes things that she's already achieved and things that will come for her. So I'm just going to call them in and just quickly, and they're just going to start showing me images, and I'll just be drawing, and then I'll be showing for her what it is that she's going to be doing. What this is really, what my understanding, if you guys know about Galactic language, there's a lot of people, a few, maybe not a lot, but there's a few people who do receive messages through Galactic communication. And there's more than one language, so, and they come in symbols or tonings or sounds. Anita is a wonderful channeler for Galactic language through sounds, and she speaks the language. For me, they just come in into symbols, and I haven't necessarily learned all the symbols. I just kind of go with what they give me, and it's specific for the person. And so this is what has been shown for Anita. It's very complex and a lot more evolved than some of the people that I've seen. I'm just going to ask her to hold it and just look at it for a little bit. Whatever we're working on today, this is for her. And I can see that some of the things are in there for clearing and whatever areas. And as the way this works, at least to my understanding, is if I continue, as long as I continue working and using the symbols, I'm getting more and more information about them, as much as others out there, and so that they're specific to certain activation, certain clearing, and certain, like organs and things like that. So I know that in there is, as they're showing, there is a symbol for the organ of the stomach, there is a symbol for the organs of the, in the pelvic area, and also of her leg. And that will, if she'll take that home, I'll give it to her, and that will just continue working on her for as long as she needs it. Okay, sweetie, I'm gonna take that. I'm going to put this underneath her head because it will just keep activating. And now I'm just going to start the clearing process now that we know what I need to do, or at least where I need to go. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll just be working on those things. Whatever I placed on her already, there is beings, and I really, for those of you who can see, they're very strong in their clairvoyance. I want you to really tune in and just kind of really try and see all the beings that are around us, and also the energy grid that is part of the whole matrix here, both coming from the crystals, but also from other like temples and matrix that I've implanted in the room, since this is a room that I use often for meditations. And so there is a lot of energy that coming in from different ways. We are anchored to both the earth grids and galactic grids, to many planets and many beings too. So there is many beings on this side over here and really going all around. And I'm just going to ask them to show me what they want to do next. And I see that actually they're calling in for the divine healing light first, which means for me that is God. And God is coming in, and he's actually right here, and he's placing his hands on Anita's forehead, because we are actually enhancing. He's going to be going in and remove some cords attached to her hesitation about going forward in the future, and it's affecting her third eye, as I'm seeing. So we're going to go in, and it's going into her nose too, and then down to her eyes and into the ears. So we're going to be pulling that out. And it's not anything that I'm doing necessarily. I'm just holding the energy and viewing, and by viewing and seeing what it's happening, it's actually confirming that it's happening, and it's making it true. And if they tell me to do anything, I do go in and do, but just holding the energy for them to come in is what really I'm doing at this moment. So God is working there, and then I can feel Mother Mary's coming from around behind me, and she's going into her throat center and just start helping with that. And Jesus at the feet, and now I'm going to go down there with my vision and see, and I can see a lot of blue light down there that they're trying to pull. And I'm just going to be working. There is a little bit of a block on her knee that is not allowing, in her hip. So I'm going to be putting my hands on her to allow the blocks from being removed, so that we can move this energy block that is around this area, this coming from her hand. So really, the way I see it, it's being pulled from away from her hand to up to her shoulders, and down from her right side of the body all the way down and out this way. And I don't need to worry about transmuting or clearing or where is this energy going. It's really being integrated in the rest of the energy and transmuted immediately. There's no need to then clear afterwards, or to just make sure that the energies are not staying here and make the place stagnant. I already imprinted this room to allow for any negative energy to just be transmuted immediately. And that's when you work with grids, you can just really make that and do it. So, and I'm just going to check and make sure that Anita's doing okay. And she is, from what they're telling me. Okay. I'm just going to concentrate a little bit and just help out over here. All right. Here, when I do this, I'm actually creating a vortex to help to pull the cord along with everybody else. And holding the energy too, and this is coming out, I know. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go down to her hip, because this is part of something that was created when she was a little girl, around the age of 3. And it's also attached to past life, but the part of the past life I'm going to address later when we're going to go into that. Okay, let's remove this cord. All right, and as they're guiding me right now, they're actually asking me to get her plugged in into the 6th and 7th dimension. So we're just going to be calling in the energy and opening this space. And as your body, if you attuned your body to travel through dimensions, you can actually bring the person and that you're working with into that dimension. All you need to do is ask to go there, and there we are, so that her body can adjust to the intense energy of clearing and not really be affected enormously by it. Okay, we're going to go down to the feet because they're bringing my attention down to the feet, and I just need to activate down here something to allow for this clearing to be completely thorough. And this is what they're really showing me, going through these different energies is allowing for completely thorough clearing. So we're calling in now the gods before gods, as I'm calling, or gigantors. These are enormous, enormous beings. They work through activating people, or at least they pretty much use their mouth, and they send this intense vibration that makes people shakes. And not physically, but their energy and the vibration and all their lines, everything that is about a person, it just shakes everything off. And I can see when they do that, there's all these sand that comes off from the bottom of the person, and it's being collected and gathered by the crystals that I have already placed there. And I've intended the crystal to captivate that energy so that it's not being dispersed in the room, but it gets collected there too, because this is a different level of clearing, and they're telling me it's a 9th dimension level clearing. Okay, we're going to bring in the endurance. The endurance have the same energy as these gods before gods too. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more, but Anita's body needs it right now to do even a deep core clearing. They're going to be placing 3 of them, one in both her solar plexus, heart, and the sacral chakra. And they're connected by a beautiful rainbow light. They're being placed in there, and then they're going to continue the vibration, so that vibration is going to spread throughout her body. So the way I see it is that there is this beautiful crystals that are being implanted over here, the rainbow energy that goes like this, and it just keeps growing and growing as the vibration grows, and it's really spreading throughout her body. And soon enough, right now, it's actually coming out of her hands, coming out of her feet, and coming out of the top of her head and shoulders, and it's really making a beautiful vortex energy around her of all this rainbow and mostly Andoran crystals. And for me, it always has this lime green energy when I work with the Andorans, which are beautiful intergalactic crystals. They really have beings attached to them. They're not just crystals. So now now that that's done, I'm gonna ask for them to show me what we're gonna do next. And they are showing that now there is this beautiful entourage of doctors. They're coming in. They're doctors, they're entities really. They can be mixed in with both doctors and other deities. So I'm asking for them to show themselves. And they're just grouping and coming around so that one of them can step forward and start working on her and see what they're showing. Then they're going right for her knees. So I'm going to be going down here because I can see they're actually doing surgery, and they're performing surgery in the inside of the knees and the inside of the ankles. This is something that has to do with her past life. And what they're showing is that I can see that there was an injury in a past life that is affecting this leg, and sometimes she actually injures this legs, or she's not willing to move forward in life, which is the one that they're telling me is what's affecting her most. So let's move this out. And I just gotta put this. And as they're doing surgery, okay, now there is a dragon energy that's stepping in as these wonderful doctors are stepping into. They're working on her. I can see that they're bringing in dragon energy. Oftentimes, it's not just one energy working in once; it's more than one. And I just really, again, the witness and kind of holding the energy. And these are both. Here comes my dragon and Anita's dragon. They're merging and making a beautiful infinity symbols that is coming in from the top of her head, is going in and is wrapping around her spine and going all the way down. This is a very, very intense clearing, going wrapping around her, down her legs and anchoring to the earth. Okay, let's hold the energy a little bit. And right now that I'm seeing, what they're showing is that the dragons are bringing some gifts of attunements. Not that she already had her own, but these are symbols. They're being imprinted all over her arms and shoulders. And they're coming in, and also in her chest. They're making it beautiful. It's like a beautiful armor shield kind of thing over her shoulder and her arms. And I do believe that, and the reasons why her left side, the left shoulder is a little weak, is because a lot of the negativity from others and herself too, it affects her usually, what they're showing over her shoulders, the back of her shoulders and her arms. And this is attached to some insecurities about her self-esteem in her body. And so this is what, if, as long as Anita has these emotional attachment, then she will be absorbing that energy, and it makes that parts weaken. So now God is coming in again, and we're going to bring him in. I don't control this. They do themselves. They go by rhythm. And as one layer is removed, now they can access another layer, and then that will be removed, and then another layer, and another layer, and another layer. That's what they usually show. We're going to go behind her shoulder right now, and he's going there. I'm going to need to go over here because she may feel a lot of pain at this time. Okay. I'm going to need to work on her shoulders, so I need your arm. Thank you, sweetie. Right there. This is your friend zone. This is her friend zone. I can feel that there's some tension here. Okay. So I'm going to put you this back, and I can see that God is actually got a beautiful blue light coming down close to the Archangel Michael's blue light, and it's going right through the shoulder, through the back, and wrapping around and making another torsion field or vacuum that will just prevent any negativity to be to sit there. So it will just be absorbed and then transmuted. And I love when they do that, because you don't really need to worry about, even if you know that you have an issue with something, you don't have to worry about being in check all the time, because once these are implanted, then they work for you at all times, so they can just be there. And I can see that he's going and put one over here in her pelvis and going down to her left leg too. So thank you for the confirmation for moving, although she's having an issue with this one. A lot of the times what I see, people have an issue with their feet, and as she's moving may mean something different for Anita, but for me what I'm seeing is that her bodies are not integrated. All the energy bodies are not necessarily integrated at this level over here by the feet. So I'm just going to bring them in and combining them as they're showing. And the body are supposed to, they're not necessarily glued together, but they have certain points where they're supposed to match or meet. So one is at the ankles, and one is at the knees, and another one is by the shoulders and the back of the neck, and another one is at the center right here. So in any of these points, the bodies can separate and not be united in that place, and can bring issues. So when we're doing clearing or removing any kind of attachment or issues, it will interfere if they're not together, because it will just work on one of the bodies and not all of them. So just think, just for your knowledge, if you ever find that you worked on a person and the issue wasn't being removed, or you have to work over on that same issue over and over again, check on whether or not all the 9 bodies, at least the 9 up to 12 bodies, are all together and merged the way they're meant to be. And if you don't know how to do that, it was shown to me. So all you need to do, just like anything else, all information comes from the higher guidance and higher realms, and there's one source. And just be open to receive information and teachings, as we all can access, beautiful, this beautiful knowledge and information from our higher power. It's already within us. We just have to be willing to accept it. Okay, I can see that the mothers are coming in for the blessings. Just going to go back over here. Usually sessions will last up to an hour, even longer. I've done session for almost 2 hours too. It depends on the person. I don't put a time limit, because if we're going to start working on the person, we're just going to get everything done. We're not, or at least everything that they need done at that moment. Now, a person who hasn't had any clearing or any work done on themselves will require a longer session, but not everything can be done at one time, because it could be there can be some repercussion to the physical body. People can be very nauseous for a couple of days, can be very dizzy. It can also be very emotional for a few days afterwards. So usually I leave my entourage, of beautiful beings, divine beings, in charge of letting me know how much or how little to remove for the person. And they know better than I do. So here comes all the mothers for the last blessing. This is integrating all the energy too. And before we're going to be done, they're actually already showing that we will be getting Anita into a beautiful crystal bed. Now, what I mean by that, I don't own an actual crystal bed, but the energy is already here. We can transport ourselves by, especially through the 5th and 6th dimension. We can go to Lemuria and Atlantis and use those beautiful healing beds that they had in those places. So when I talk about that, usually that's where I take the person, and they're showing again the color green for her. So we're going to go in and place Anita in this beautiful floating green field of crystals. And she's going to be in there and get the energy for just a little bit. And I'm just going to monitor her body, make sure that her physical body can tolerate the amount of energy that is coming in and the clearing. Okay. And since we're here, we're also going to go into the 8th dimension, which is really the infinite dimension. The number 8 resembles the infinity symbols for a very good reason. But this is an infinite dimension. It's a space. I'm just going to ask to bring Anita over there. Just going to move it there. Thank you. The energy can be quite strong at times. And while we're there, we're going to ask to show all these beautiful energy beams that come from her body. They are attached to anything that ever existed about her and anything that ever was about her in the past, present, and future, since time is really not what we think it is. And as we're doing so, these beautiful beams of light are going from her all the way out. These are really the place where all your past lives, everything that you ever existed is here, you connected to. So we're viewing all her connection to anything that ever existed about her. And we're going to ask the angels to show us and remove whatever she does not need any longer, any attachment to any past life that she no longer needs. I asked for the energy to come in and do that at this time. And the way I know when the energy is done, like for me that's already happened, is because I actually feel it going through me. Anytime that there is something that is leaving the person's body that I'm working on, I can feel it coming from my solar plexus going all the way up. And once it leaves my root chakra on my head, then I know that that's done, it's gone. It's not there anymore. They're coming in to present herself with beautiful gifts at this time. And it's not for me to know, although I may see the gifts that are being given to the person, but oftentimes it's for the person itself, and messages and things like that. So okay, beautiful. So now they're showing actually all these feathers falling down and all these beautiful petals falling all over her. And just caressing her gently. And giving her kisses and hugs and love as the last part of this session. All right, we're now they're being showered, typical, thanks to you. They're going to shower you with beautiful sparkle golden energy. And this is directly from God. And the highest pure source ever is coming in. It's also, there's codes embedded in this sparkle energy, so you're getting new information for yourself and also for the people in the world. Because there's beautiful things coming for you, and we are going to be closing the energy with that. Okay. And I usually leave the person for a few minutes because we did go through so many energy at once and so quickly, although for her we didn't need as much, but because she's such a beautiful evolved being, that doesn't really mean anything, but some people may need more, and some people may need more time to go slower because it may just be too much for the physical body to go through so many. But Anita is already in such a higher vibration that it's easy for her to go through these levels without, much repercussion. So that's it. That's the end of it. And, thank you so much. You were wonderful. You did great.
Thank you, Simona.
Thank you.
It's quite beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I just have to say, Simona, that after experiencing such an incredible universal healing such as this today, that it was extremely hard, number one, to get off the bed because I was in such a place of complete bliss and peace. But number two, and more importantly, I really feel that all the beings that came in today, including yourself and being the beautiful channeler, guiding us through everything, really helped to paint a picture as far as the level of intensity as well as what we're receiving when we're on the bed. And the grid work that you have down here underneath the bed, as soon as I laid on the bed, I could feel the energy coming up off of them and almost implanting the energy and the grid line work for my spirit and my soul and what I really needed. And not to mention all the beautiful, blessed, fantastic beings that came in for me today, which I am honored and truly blessed to be a part of and to have experienced. A lot of what you saw today with me going through the motions, as Simona was saying, I'm really right on point. As you were speaking about things, I was instantly feeling the energy coming through, as well as the healings that were taking place all over my body. And I could just feel my body just expand and release things that were just ready to go. I loved especially the part where the God energy came down through with the golden sparkles, and not just because I have this fascination with sparkles, but because the energy as it was coming through first started to look like sparkles and then came down and it was encoding. Yes. And it went right into my body and I could feel that. And also the armor that they put across and front and back of my shoulder too was amazing, and very grateful for Archangel Michael for coming in and the angels that helped him and assisted him with that. And the beautiful spiritual surgeries. I mean, there was just so much jam-packed that was going on in there, and I felt everything too. And it just shows the work that you do, does change, the spiritual aspect as well as the physical aspect. And I'm really excited to discuss with you further along, how I'm going to be feeling over the next few days and checking in with you, because I definitely felt it. And I'm so excited for our viewers to check Simona out, because honestly, she is just amazing. Like, you will feel something and your life and your energy around you will change. So thank you for being on our show today and sharing your beautiful gifts with us and allowing these beautiful beings to come in and spread the love. And you drew this picture for me. You were channeled and guided to do this. And I'm going to have you mention the word again.
They're glyphs.
They're glyphs. And I want to go ahead and say the word again, because the angels that are surrounding us right now really want to make a point about glyphs. I'm going to say it 3 times out. Glyphs, glyphs, glyphs. They're
You can
beautiful
feel the energy.
coatings. Yeah, you can feel the energy coming out. And she specifically was channeled to draw this glyph for me that I will now take home with me.
Yes.
And I'm going to meditate with it to continue my healing as well as my progression and forward movement on my path.
Yes.
And I just think that's fascinating because we're now starting to really tap in and tune into these energies and channeling these beautiful messages, these beautiful glyphs that are something you can go ahead and take with you as a part of the healing that will now stay with you. And I could feel it go immediately into my body as soon as you gave it to me. And I explained to Simona that this particular symbolism in the glyph was the first thing that shot out to me. And she said, well, that's the first thing that I drew. And I just thought that was synchronicity right there.
It was. And then we
Yeah.
have a lot of those.
Absolutely, for sure.
Well, thank you. I mean, I don't know what to say. This is just, it was my pleasure, actually, you know, as I said before, to work with you. And I love seeing the beings. What I love the most about this is that for each person is very particular to each person that lays on this bed. There is no set pattern, you know, to any of it.
Exactly.
So whatever you need, you will be taken care of, and it's not just the same old thing, you know. So it changes, and it's always evolving, and it's always changing. And I love, this is a new thing for me too, and I'm just learning to work with them too. So I thank you for actually, you know, speaking about that. And I think we're moving, at least, you know, one of the messages we got today was that there's a movement of bringing all this out. And, you know, many people have different glyphs or different, with their really molecular coding, energy coding, which is translated into quantum physics and science. But that's for another time.
Yes, you'll have to stay tuned for that episode. That's going to be a woozy one.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much again, Simona, for coming on today to Angel Air and
Thank
for
you.
bringing this beautiful divine demonstration to our viewers. And you know what, guys? You got to check Simona Maneti out. You know, she does meditation classes, she does workshops, she does healing, she does it all. So you got to check her out. Thank you so much for tuning into this exact same moment, time, and place.
And thank you for having me.
Exactly. And you just never know what dimension I'm going to pop into next. Thank you. Take care and be blessed.
Yay.